Hey there guys, it's your good pal Wiggly, and welcome back to more Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations Blind. It's so good to be back. In the last episode, we finished up Case 3, Recipe for Turnabout, and in this episode, we're heading forward to Case 4, Turnabout Beginnings, which, considering that other than Rise from the Ashes, which was added to Ace Attorney 1 after this game released on the Game Boy Advance, both Ace Attorney 1 and 2 only had 4 cases. So this could potentially not only be the final case of this game, but the final case in the story of the Ace Attorney original trilogy, which makes me both very excited, especially since Edgy Poo is on the cover here, but also quite nervous right now because, as you guys know, I have taken a 2-month break from recording, and every other time that I've taken a break, I've been pretty rusty heading into it, and it's been a little bit of a rough start, and this case could be very difficult, especially if it is the final case. But I also want to say thank you all very much for being so patient with me while I took the break. I didn't realize how badly I needed a break until I started, because I put out a lot of content last year, and I was really nervous that everybody was going to leave, so I felt like I really needed to hype myself up before I came back. It was a whole thing, but I decided today to really just buckle down and go for it. Once again, thank you all for sticking with me while I wasn't uploading anything for a few months, and I'm ready for a new and exciting 2024, and I hope you guys are too. Let's go ahead and head into Episode 4, Turnabout Beginnings, which, if it is the final case, that's a very ironic name. Okay. The girl. Let her go. I like the sepia film reel effect. Also, this is one sketchy-ass bridge. Shut up! Come closer, and I kill her! Sorry. But you're not going to get the chance. Ah. A very interesting crime scene. So did the girl get shot, or did the kidnapper or hostage taker get shot? I'm reading through the case files. Couldn't read that. Sorry, I was talking. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Okay, so we are going into that first case. Terry Falls. Okay. Kidnapping, murder, sentence, death penalty. What a design, by the way. Fugitive movements. After escaping, Falls met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, recaptured on Eagle Mountain about 8 hours after his escape. Okay, there's a lot going on here. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. I love this rendition of Turnabout Sisters, by the way. Also, the visuals here are super cinematic. 6 years earlier, Mia Fey first trial. Oh, are we doing another flashback trial? Yeah, okay, that's really cool. I like that. Okay. I'm so nervous. I didn't expect to get to play as more Mia Fey. Let's go. I feel like I'm going to die. I never should have accepted this case. We're defending him. Okay. Okay, got it. Good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia. I didn't do nothing. I swear, I didn't kill nobody. Terry Falls, my first client. This is cool. Sentenced to death 5 years ago, and now a prison escapee. Okay. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? Biting the chain. I'm sorry. Sorry, that was the wrong voice. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere. Also, the different shading on the eyes is kind of freaking me out. But, Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago. Sorry. I told a little lie. Now he's all, cutesy. Oh, boy. But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody. Sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? I'm really sorry. They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that. 2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. Okay. Well, it's already very obvious that there's a potential that the person confronting, who I assume is maybe another police officer, shot the hostage rather than, you know, him, obviously. But if he falls, then maybe the person we saw fall from the bridge wasn't him. I'm already trying to piece things together. The police believe that Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman? Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped. So that much is true. He did meet with the victim. But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true. I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. Huh. Oh, hello. You're not going to figure out the truth but just by staring at the guy. Why are you here? Who are you? I came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big scary lion's den. I thought, oh, wait a minute. Oh, huh? Okay, what the... I noticed something. Maybe I'm making it up in my head, but this guy has, like, the same skin tone. He has the same fucking outfit. Is this Godot? Interesting. Okay. I thought maybe you'd like someone to play with. Where's Mr. Grossberg? Huh, that old man is probably still in bed. I bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. That tilt-back head animation, that's definitely Godot's. And the vest is just the same, but the undershirt is red instead of green. And the fucking goatee is the same, actually, I think. I really hope I'm not just being dumb and making something up in my head, but... Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando. I didn't say... So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me? No, you've got it all wrong. Today, you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take his case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for a first client. Okay, let me read about some people. Diego Armando, age 27, a hotshot lawyer. My senior and rival at the office, a bit smug. Okay, interesting. I feel like I've heard the name. Maybe I haven't, but the name also sounds super familiar. Valerie Hawthorne. I know the last name Hawthorne, 100%, and that could actually tie into, you know, the other case, Dahlia. Police officer and the victim, the key witness in the case against Falls 5 years ago. And Terry Falls, age 25, younger than Diego. Okay. My client, sentenced to death 5 years ago, escaped from custody 2 days ago, and I will check these later. Yeah, thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though. Huh, relax. I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. Really? Oh, okay. Okay. However, unlike a certain somebody who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. Yep, definitely. Genius? Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. I don't like that you call her that. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time. A solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. And this is the beginning of her trust your client to the end mentality. unless they are Matt on guard. There he is. Let's go. Oh, it's the other judge, too.
Court is now in session for the trial of Terry Falls.
I don't know what voice to give this guy. I don't remember what I gave either, but whatever. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Also, he actually looks a lot younger, too.
I understand the lawyers for both sides are newcomers.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey.
Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So you're the new prosecutor everyone is talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. At 20, Your Honor. I guess our little kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet, huh?
He's drinking fucking coffee. It's him. It is 100% him. Okay, now I'm convinced that I wasn't just making shit up in my head. Come on, Mia. You can't lose. Not to someone younger than you. Okay, then now This is already giving me so many fucking questions. Sorry for talking so much. But why does Godot hate Phoenix? For what purpose? And where was he during the second trial?
Young people running a trial. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from a police wagon. Is that correct?
Precisely.
But the defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered.
So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death?
You got it, kitten. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement. Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Falls, was sentenced to death in this very court. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder.
The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. It is super weird seeing a differently drawn Edgeworth sprite, by the way, doing the same poses. Also, 14. Yikes.
A truly horrible crime. I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted. Correct. But in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony.
A witness's testimony?
Testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throw his young victim into the river.
Okay, well, we know that that's not true. Unless it is, and he was just trying to make the bullet not hit her. There's so many possibilities here already.
For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current.
Also, so Valerie's dead. This is a different situation. Valerie is not the girl who was held hostage on the bridge. Valerie is who was killed now, and that's a different scenario.
Most bodies that fall in are never recovered.
So, Miss Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away. Okay. Now I'm starting to get the bigger picture here.
That policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be... Exactly. The victim. The same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne.
He looks so much less confident, too. He looks... he looks so baby.
Aha, I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago, with only one thing on his mind, to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now.
I really like this face this judge has. Huh?
Yes. It's quite obvious that the defendant is guilty of...
Good to see you're as competent, sir. But wait a minute, that's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor.
Watch yourself, Ms. Fey. I'm not sure I care for your word choice or tone of voice.
This guy's more biased than Gray Judge. Incredible.
Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders.
Why, you're even younger than me, you hypocrite.
Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness. I call the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation to this case.
Hey, tan coat, looking good.
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Gumshoe, Dick Gumshoe. I'm the homicide detective in charge of the case, sir. I finally got promoted to the detective division half a year ago. I don't believe anyone asked you about that. Hey, ma'am, you got any idea how much work it takes? What is it? You're really gorgeous. Nice. Excuse me? No, seriously, my heart, it's aching for you. What the Gumshoe? This is before he ever met Maggie.
Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache.
Okay, I got it.
Now, detective, tell us about the incident.
Yes, sir, right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran on the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. Okay.
That much is already stated in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more details about the incident itself.
Yes, sir, I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. He's so, like, excitable. This is cool. More than usual. Okay. This is potentially quite complex. This is a sketch of Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. And the river that runs under there is Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met there on top of the bridge. Okay. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured at a police station, a police checkpoint, as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. Okay.
I see.
Okay, bridge located 40 feet above Eagle River. There's a lot of information. There was like a 5-foot, like, legend or key, I guess you would call it, on the map.
Was the victim's blood found on the bridge?
The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Okay. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge.
Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there.
This judge sucks.
Your Honor. If you would listen to the testimony we had prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced.
Okay, real quick, I want to take a look at some things now. Attorney's badge, proof of my profession. It's brand new and sparkles in the light. Valerie's autopsy report, stabbed with a knife in the back, died from blood loss between 4 and 5 p.m. There's so much information. Okay. Bridge is 40 feet above. 5 yards is about that long. So it's like 15-ish yards from where Terry was standing to the car. Roughly 15, 20. Okay. Interesting. Good to know. And then there's like an askew plank further back that has like a thicker outline. Okay. Just kind of looking at things here. What's on the other side of the bridge? Is it even important? Where were they going? Okay, Miles Edgeworth, age 20, dubbed the genius as soon as he started as prosecutor. Today is his court debut. Dick Gumshoe, age 26, he looks no fucking different. Homicide detective in charge of the initial investigation, still new to his position. Okay.
The two of them most certainly didn't meet on the bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm not sure I like you wagging your finger at me as though I were some hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony.
This voice for him sucks, I'm sorry, but I don't know what else to do with him. Yes, sir. Here we go, Mia. Hang on.
Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready.
Tea? What do you mean, tea? On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. Okay, I didn't see any contradiction there. Good start.
Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Naturally.
Sorry.
Now, will the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination, coming right up.
Hey, settle down there, kitten. If you keep trembling like that, you're going to make me spill my coffee.
Okay, the tea was a funny little red herring. I'm not trembling. It's just cold in here.
The courtroom could be a cold battlefield, all right. Especially for a beginner.
I don't need you to worry about me. I mean, the defendant, the witness, everyone's a beginner in here.
Huh, you got me there. But maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you've got, kitten.
It's okay, Mia. Stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all last night watching. Uh-oh. Was she watching Court Cam? Judge Judy? Or, oh god, what was the Judge Judy knockoff? Judge Whackner? Something like that. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Okay, let's just start pressing. This unknown person, you have no idea who it might be, right?
Sorry, but I'm afraid I do.
What? The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls. Okay.
What? The defendant called her.
Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls. A note? Yeah, a top-secret memo that she left in her desk. That's odd. Okay. Confidential police materials written by the victim.
According to this note, it seems the one who called her to the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Falls.
Whose bright idea was it to keep that note from me?
Huh. Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer.
That is not the Phoenix Wright way, but okay. It's that detective's fault. He's the one who said unknown person.
Hey now, don't make that face at me. I just said it that way because the prosecutor told me to.
Was that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky. Well, alright. I mean, he was trained by Von Karma, so... victim's note, confidential police materials written by the victim. We can check it. February 14th, 1:21 p.m., which is about 3-4 hours before the whole thing happened. Falls 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Okay. Wear white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. This seems like it goes deep. Okay. Falls 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Okay, this doesn't necessarily 100% confirm that Falls called her out to the bridge. She could have set it up beforehand and left the note. So that's a possibility. Sergeant Hawthorne went to the Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. Okay. Phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Okay, there doesn't really seem to be anything super wrong with that. Also, if she set up the meeting, then that makes the whole hostage thing odd. So that's probably not true. I'm having to think really hard right now. A bridge up in the mountains, but why meet there? Because it is a very important place to the defendant, that's why. Okay, why?
What do you mean by that? If you remember, 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto a bridge, and it was there that he killed his hostage. And the place where all of this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge.
Okay. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Falls.
Huh! Returning to the scene of the crime. How nostalgic.
Okay. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. Was the body of the victim discovered right away? Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great! We even got to say, don't move! We've got you surrounded! Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that?
The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly?
Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right? Or maybe she, like, radioed it in?
Huh! If that's what had happened, then she wouldn't have been killed.
She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Falls, but she left a note on her desk about it. If only I had noticed it earlier, maybe she'd still be alive. I wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. Yeah. There's something stinky going on here. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls had a car then? Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right?
What? You mean the defendant drove his own car?
Yeah, that's weird. So where was the other car? There's only one car here. No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light.
Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves.
You're a fucking judge. Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything? He's sure that he doesn't like you. This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. Okay. Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there.
Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable.
Okay. The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct? That was exactly why I was silent there for a second. That line of thinking. She was stabbed in the back. But we talked about the fact that she was wearing a thick coat. Even if she was wearing a thick coat, if she was pierced in the back and she bled out, then there should be blood in the trunk, and we don't see any blood in the trunk, but her body could just be obscuring it. But also, blood makes a fucking mess. She looks too clean. It doesn't really check out to me. Like, she probably would have reached back or something. There should be blood on her hand. Something's weird. Also, I literally, as it was fading out, I noticed that the trunk was broken into, which is probably just has to do with the car being stolen, but he has the key. He must, if he's driving the car, and tried to drive it away. So why did he break into the trunk, then, if he has the key? Weird. Okay. Yeah.
Huh. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back.
Are you a nice guy, Diego? We're talking about a woman here. You can't tell from his photo, but the knife was stuck in her back nice and firm. Even still, okay.
The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car?
Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange, do you? Anyway, Mr. Falls was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain.
Listen up, kitten. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony.
A trap?
Walk into it carelessly, and it'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh?
No, it's not!
Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you'd better get some more information. And if you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for contradictions afterwards.
The ever-famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those. Well, I'm in the same boat as Mia. I don't see anything super weird, but also I don't feel super solid on the facts because there was practically no build-up. They just started throwing shit at me right away. Okay. Okay, okay, so just to get everything straight. He is accused of killing somebody on the bridge that I don't think we know who it is. Right? Just that it was a 14-year-old girl, and Valerie confronted him and shot a shot. Unless I am blanking on something, we don't know who the other person is. The 14-year-old girl. He was captured and then was, you know, being transferred somewhere. 5 years later, he breaks out of the car, or the wagon, or whatever you want to call it, and steals a car and drives to the mountains, and then supposedly, allegedly calls Valerie to the location, which means that there should be 2 cars. And he allegedly stabs her in the back there, which is weird as well, now that I'm thinking about it, because they were in a situation where there's no reason why the back should be turned to each other. They're literally face to face on that bridge. So why? What would have led to the backstabbing unless they were already struggling, maybe? That's odd. I'm going to put that in my pocket for later. Okay, but yeah, the car thing. Went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time, met with Mr. Falls, and that's where she was brutally murdered. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Okay. I mean, this doesn't necessarily conflict that, but there should have been 2 cars. Where's the other car? Right? This evidence establishes that the defendant is lying, right? Okay, well, it's wrong.
Don't ask me to confirm your facts.
Sorry, this is my first time handling a case.
Well, let's make it a memorable occasion with a penalty.
I hate this judge. The other judge irks me sometimes, but this guy fucking sucks. And here I thought he would go easy on me because I'm new. Huh, okay. Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything. Okay, this is probably the thing I was actually supposed to present on. I'm being too hasty. I'm too trigger happy. Okay. Well, okay, the map should have been 2 cars. That's weird. Stabbed with a knife in the back, died from blood loss between 4 and 5 p.m. Okay. Victim's note, confidential police materials written by the victim, February 14th, 1:21 p.m. She got a call from Falls, 4:30 p.m. Meet me at that bridge. Wear white scarf for identification. I forgot about that part. I completely blanked on that. Okay. She is not wearing a scarf. Okay, I'm ahead of the curve again. There we go. Okay, that's weird. Witness.
What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye?
I'm sorry. I totally forgot what I was going to say. I already thought she was a little bit shaky and like Phoenix before at the first case, but this is a whole other level. This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that.
You should have practice before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Faye, I'm not sure I like this. Say there, little kitten. Want a piece of my coffee candy?
What? Oh, you mean like Werther's? That sounded like an innuendo. Maybe the word kitten is throwing me off in a way that it shouldn't, but it really is. Candy?
Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee.
Do you spike your coffee, Diego? Ugh, come on, Mia. Shake it off. You're a lawyer. Detective. Yes, ma'am? Sorry, I didn't even do the voice. Fuck, I'm so rusty. This photo. You said that there was nothing peculiar about it. Is that correct? Yeah, that's what I said. Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim. The note? It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like. Thus, this special request. I have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo. Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am. Also, it's entirely possible, to play devil's advocate here, it's very possible that she just didn't wear a scarf. That'd be an easy dismiss, like... And you stopped there? You should have looked for it.
The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this? I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you are searching so desperately for. Is it this one, perchance? Okay, Yep. The trap. Where did you find that, sir? On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation.
Why? Why didn't you tell me?
I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It's the safest place I know.
And that's like where every problem with the court structure in Phoenix Wright's universe lies, is that you can just present random shit in the middle of the trial without having established it beforehand, but that's just how it works, and it really works super well as a storytelling device and also making puzzles harder.
That hotshot sure has a flair for the dramatic.
You're one to talk.
It's not exactly white, as the caller requested. But as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for.
Is that a blood stain? Or is it... Is it coffee?
It looks like it spent some time in the mud. Not surprising, it was drizzling on the mountain that day.
But also... they were on a bridge. There's no mud on a bridge. Prosecutor Edgeworth. He was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time.
The court will accept the scarf into evidence.
Also, if this is past Edgeworth, he very well might fake some evidence. Just realized. Worn by the victim at the time of the incident, found on Dusky Bridge. Okay, yeah, it was on the bridge. If it fell off of the victim on the bridge and was still on the bridge, why the hell is it muddy? And that could also tie into the whole stabbed in the back, they were probably facing each other thing, where maybe the stabbing didn't happen on the bridge.
Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is all right with you, isn't it, Miss Fay?
Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck.
Very good. Now, if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively, and with hard evidence, that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet on the bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Everything is moving at his whim, and also very quickly.
Don't forget, kitten. There's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius.
A genius, huh? Alrighty. Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. Okay. Well... interesting. Okay. So, she went on the bridge first. I'm not sure why I'm... why I'm worried about that, but where was he standing, and why did she just go out to the bridge and like stand there on the bridge and wait for him there? Kind of a weird decision, but not so weird that it's actually like a problem. It's just something that sticks out to me for some reason. Also, where's her hat? Where'd her hat go? It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off. Okay. Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that this bridge is very high up. It's about a 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say that it was a well-intentioned third party. Okay. Certainly not a potential suspect, just some person. Aha, a potential witness! So why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify. I'm sure they didn't, whoever this fucking person is. The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Me neither. Witness's photo seems to have been taken by the witness. Okay. So, as you can see, Terry Falls had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on the bridge. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty. Not again. That's not fair. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. What do you mean, Okay. So real quick, let me take a closer look at the photo. Scarf. Okay. So she is wearing the scarf, but she's also wearing a hat. The hat is unaccounted for, I believe. Yeah, okay. That's potentially not super weird because it probably just fell into the river, but that was found on the bridge. How did it get muddy? That's weird. Also, it'd be weird if it wasn't important and they pointed out the mud in the first place. So my brain is kind of stuck on that. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at this. It'd be kind of hard to stab somebody when you're carrying a fucking ball and chain, by the way. Pushed her down and stabbed her in the back. Huh, okay. I'm taking a close look at the outfit, because usually that's the kind of thing that we look for. The face is obscured, which is an odd choice. Okay. Crime photo. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything super odd here. Ah, damn. Okay. Well, let's just start pressing then. Who is this eyewitness? She's a college student. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Okay, actually, Talk to Dahlia is here. Okay. If Dahlia's the one who took this photo, and they also mentioned that she was, like, frail or delicate, and also the court's giving her an absurd amount of leeway in this department. Okay, something real fucky's going on there. A female college student. That's right. Meaning she's female and a college student, ma'am. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her. That's bullshit. Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her.
For the time being, we're not relying on the witness's statements. That is all.
What is that supposed to mean?
The prosecution has other, more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on a vague testimony of a female college student. A female college student, eh?
I mean, she's female and a college student. Please, Gumshoe.
If you absolutely must hear her testimony, you have to give us a good reason why.
Well, the fact that she's a fucking suspect now.
Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question.
This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing a scarf, sir. It sure does. But does it show anything else? Like, the scarf is muddy, but... Okay, it's just weird. Okay. The victim is wearing a scarf in that photo, alright. So, about the witness who took this photo, what was this person doing all the way in the mountains? She was taking photos of wildflowers, apparently.
There are many unusual types of flora on that mountain, Miss Faye. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there. So spirits! Now that you mention it, this photo, this cloudy fog-like thing, is it a ghost? I don't believe it!
No, Your Honor, no. I don't think it's a ghost. Excellent. Just great information all around there. Also, Edgeworth, you're fucking hiding her because it's the goddamn sister. Obviously, shit's weird, and you're trying to cover it up. Stop acting so smug. I don't like that we're back to early Edgeworth. It was drizzling that day, unfortunately. It's a little hard to see what's going on. Drizzling, huh? That's right, there was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. But not as dreary as the mood that's in this courtroom right now. Wow. Wow. Looks like a cold front just moved in.
In any case, the point is that the area was quite damp, even for some fog.
She was out taking pictures in the rain? Just of flowers? Sure, bro. Yeah. I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something. Okay. Anyway, the victim shoved in the victim from the back, down from behind, and stabbed her in the back. Okay. Okay. Is that part of the witness's testimony as well? Of course it is. You can't just have somebody else testify your testimony for you as if it's facts. That's such bullshit. He pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. Her coat isn't wet or anything. The scarf got muddy, but her fucking coat's clean. Okay, that's weird. Okay.
I remember that happening once myself. It was really brutal.
Brutal? Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed, or were you the one getting pushed? Or does it mean that you've pushed someone down like that once? With his mind-boggling tales and the way he said brutal, I wonder if he's Canadian. I did not realize this guy is supposed to have a Canadian accent. I don't even know how to do a Canadian accent. I can do a couple things like, you betcha, a snickerdoodle for you, little one. Like, I could do that, but like, I don't think I can read new text.
Huh. Save your nasty look for the right person.
Huh?
Take a look. Poor baby. The court record seems to have wet itself.
What kind of a fucking hint is that, Diego? Hey, watch where you spill your coffee. The court record, huh? Okay. That must have been when the scarf fell off. That's probably true. I don't feel like I need to press that. The victim shoved the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Okay. That's weird. Yeah, okay. So at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Yeah, and fog, too. Just a generally soggy atmosphere. Oh, the first hair flip. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere.
Well, this is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk.
Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right.
Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. What is it about this photo of the trunk that doesn't fit with the conditions that day? It's her coat.
Naturally, the answer is right here.
The victim's coat? As far as I can see, there is nothing strange about it.
That's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky Bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud.
That's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled.
Playoff beard? What does that mean?
I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy.
Well, you just presented a fucking scarf, sir.
If Your Honor had fallen in the shower instead of on a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, would be wet, not muddy.
He plays fucking hockey. What is he? Does he drink maple syrup in the morning? Have some Toblerone with his fucking poutine? Wear a turtleneck, maybe? Drink some bagged milk?
Fortunately, I still have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day?
The surface of the bridge? Huh.
Huh. A real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like this.
Neither would a real woman. Of course I can. Here's the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy. Okay. Hacha. The evidence is this scarf.
Ugh!
It should be obvious. If the scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy, it means that the bridge was obviously covered in mud.
No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo.
What the fuck, Edgeworth? Calm down. Hey, same to you, buddy. You're a himbo. That's the word.
Miss Faye's assertion makes perfect sense to me. I do admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction?
Yes, let's hear your theory. Huh?
For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we?
Alright. It's not like he's really giving me a choice here.
Huh. You're doing pretty well for a little kitten.
Mr. Armando.
No matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. It's either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder.
I'm questioning the testimony the most, because that's the thing that they neglected to present.
Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? The false evidence is one of those three. What you just said just now, I'm not sure I like that.
That wasn't me, Your Honor. It was the coffee aficionado over here that said it.
This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know. Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into the court.
Of course.
But we won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as the flimsy scam it really is.
Yes, if this is Godot, what the fuck happened? What? You're so different. The false evidence in the case is probably the witness's testimony. I mean, obviously the body in the trunk is real. The photo is real. It's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen? Yeah, that's what the witness told us. Then they're wrong. That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all.
That's true. Huh. It's not just true, it's the truth.
What a fucking sentence. If
there was truly a decisive witness in this case, I'm certain that boy Wonder over there would have called them in the first place.
Yep, that was exactly pretty much what I said earlier. Your Honor, the defense requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all. Oh, you should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We are prepared to present our witness at any time. Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time.
What Mr. Edgeworth said kind of worries me. Yeah. Things are about to get complicated. What does he mean by the brutal truth? Okay.
No, let's proceed with the testimony.
Oh, I thought we were going to take a recess. Okay.
Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes.
This is it, Mia. The battle begins here. Come on, Dahlia. I know it's you.
Witness, what is your name and occupation?
Hello. Oh, God. You're pissing me off already. Everyone is so silent that I can hear their hearts going pitter-patter.
Oh. When I look at you, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double-double and a dozen donut holes. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite.
What a freak. Hey, not so fast.
Oh. As I said before, this witness is very sensitive and delicate.
No, the fuck she is not.
I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Miss Fay, you could learn a lot from this man.
If he's such a gentleman, he sure doesn't act like one to me. Sir?
Yes, my dear?
This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause.
Not at all. It's no trouble at all.
Fuck this dude. Now then, may we please have your name and occupation? My name is, Melissa Foster. Okay. No it isn't. That's a fucking fake name, but okay. I'm a college student. A freshman in the literature department. Was that her major before? I think it was.
You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct?
And you were the one who took this photo. Is that accurate? Ah! How can you be so mean?
Now see here, what are you doing shoving that in her face like that?
Huh? But it's just a photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous.
Next time I'll be forced to penalize you.
Fuck this. Uh-oh. I don't like the turn this has taken. Is she staring at me? And you would be? Huh? I'm the defense attorney. My name is Mia Fay. I see. So you are... You are what? Did they know each other too?
Okay. Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best.
All right.
You fucking go for it. I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers in the rain. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly, they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. And right after that, I called the police. Okay. And the police got there in an hour?
By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? I believe the map would be of help here.
Yes, please point that out. I was standing right over here. Okay. So we know now the angle at which you saw the crime occur, supposedly. Okay. Let's take a look at your photo. That seems to check out, I think. Okay. So, yeah, that checks out. Okay. Just double checking like the placement of the rock structure. Okay, unless I'm stupid, which is entirely possible, this seems to be... Yeah, okay. Gotcha. I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs.
So you took the photo from that location, eh?
I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to. Why were you taking pictures of flowers if you're a literature student? I mean, could just be a hobby, I guess, but kind of weird. Unless you, obviously, you brought the camera specifically to frame somebody else.
Oh, what a cute camera, just like its owner.
There's also a possibility that she called both people and had them meet there, I guess. But would she kill her own sister? And why?
All right then, Miss Fay, time for your cross-examination. But I warn you, make the witness cry again, and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel.
Okay. Let's see. I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Okay. Did you say wildflowers? Also, real quick, since now Dahlia is definitely involved, I want to check the note again. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Okay. Why? What is this truth? You obviously arranged for Dahlia to be there. Okay. One more time, I just want to check, because now we're starting to, like, also address potential time. Meet at 4:30. Death happened at between 4 and 5. That checks out. The note was taken at 1:21. Numbers to remember are difficult, so I'm trying to just really solidify those, because I feel like they're going to be important soon in my gut, which could be wrong. Melissa Foster took the witness's photo with this, a small but powerful model. Okay. Sounds good. Melissa Foster, age 19, a college student, witnessed and photographed the incident on Dusky Bridge. Okay. Good to know. Yes, the mountain is famous for its beautiful spring wildflowers. But it's only February. Well, I couldn't wait for spring to come. This is such bullshit. Okay.
Oh, I know just how you feel. It's just like when I first started growing this glorious beard of mine. I just couldn't wait, so I wore a dyed blonde Santa beard till mine grew in properly. Okay. Would you mind if we got back to the facts of the case, Your Honor?
Canadian judge is a fucking whack-ass dude. Then I noticed there were 2 people standing up on the suspension bridge. Okay. Was there anything strange about the 2 of them? I'm a bad girl. I know I am. It looked like they were having a really serious conversation up there, so I decided to watch them like some kind of peeping Tom. Okay.
No, not at all. Everyone is like that. I love watching other people fight, too. In fact, I can't get enough of it. Actually, that's why I took this job in the first place.
I became a judge for the drama. Good work. Too much info, Your Honor.
In any case, it's perfectly natural for you to have kept watching them. Especially dressed as they were, yeah, I mean,
That's a fair point. Pretty weird. Well, anyway, I was watching them very closely. With your camera. Suddenly, they just started fighting. Do you have any idea what they were fighting about? No, I have no idea. Why do you ask that? Oh, I just thought that maybe you overheard what they said. I would never eavesdrop. I got more class than that. You would spy, but you wouldn't eavesdrop, sure.
That's right, Miss Faye. Don't drag the witness down to your level.
She's so fucking frustrating. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment.
Well, it doesn't show the crucial moment. It just shows a moment. It doesn't show the moment of the murder.
Why did you take a photo? Well, the two of them were really going at it. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a news reporter. I guess that part of me just kind of took over. Seems like a lie to me.
Yep. Oh yes, I understand completely. Even now, I can't completely abandon my boyhood dreams. I still use my grandson to test my comedy routines on.
So you wanted to be a comedian, huh? Not that it has any bearing on this. We're getting too much lore for a Canadian judge. All I could do was use my camera. So I took the photo of the crucial moment and gave it to the police. And right after that, I called the police. Okay, so you're claiming that they were fighting, and that's why you took the photo. So this photo is very clearly before they started fighting. So that's a contradiction, for sure. It doesn't really prove a whole lot, except for potentially leading into proving intent to frame. So I guess we'll go ahead and present that. Nice. I'm getting back into the swing of it, baby. Witness. When you said you took a photo of this crucial moment, is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified that you saw the two of them starting to fight. Normally, that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that? Well, you see...
The photo we presented was the only one there was.
But if you really wanted to go capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it.
My apologies, young lady. But Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit.
He can certainly downplay a situation, can't he? I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up. The film, I mean.
You ran out of film?
This photo was the last one. What?
Unfortunately, that is the truth. I personally examined all the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself playing among the wildflowers.
The witness herself? Then who took the photos? Well, you see, my camera has a timer feature built into it. Okay. Interesting. Which means that there's a very real possibility that you were not over there. And that is sketchy. So you took photos of yourself?
I remember taking some photos of myself once, too.
Please, no details. Yes, please, no.
It seems that Miss Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all.
Well, wait, just a minute.
Well, if she had no film left, she couldn't very well take more pictures, eh? Miss Foster, perhaps you could tell us about a different sort of photo. Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes.
What? Oh, I see. Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet.
Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed.
Yes, Mr. Judge. Boy, this guy is really a sucker for sweet talk.
Huh. It looks like the other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all the attention.
Yeah, it's sickening. Okay. Oh, we're still in the same cross-examination? Yeah, we are. Okay. Interesting. The victim turned around and tried to run away, but she only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back. Okay. Well, turned around and tried to run away. I mean, run where? Certainly not 10 yards. That's so flimsy. Come on. No way. Yeah. I was contemplating to myself whether it was really going to be that easy, but man, come on. Witness, your testimony's a joke. I'm glad you agree. Huh? What? But I just...
Miss Vey, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry.
One short testimony and 2 bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse.
You say there were 2 contradictions?
It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the 2 of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well, then...
She would have hit a dead end.
You said 10 yards, but she couldn't have even ran 5. Because Dusky Bridge is collapsed on that side. Ah!
Well, what does this all mean?
It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it.
This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court. Just a moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? There's one major mistake in this diagram.
What? What did you say?
What are you referring to? It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it.
Oh, fucking... Are you gonna try to tell me that it collapsed after the incident?
So you're saying... I'm saying that even though this bridge is currently in disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident.
That's ridiculous!
You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. I apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. That guy is good.
Huh? What do you mean?
He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, all right. That diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. Oh my god, I can't read. His insurance policy.
What? That coward.
Well, Miss Fey, it seems you've once again made a reckless accusation.
It was a very reasonable accusation. I'm so sorry. I should have been more careful myself.
No, it wasn't your fault at all. Now then, shall we go on with the trial? I would like to establish once and for all what it was that the witness actually saw.
Okay.
Indeed. All right, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony?
But it's so hard to go on.
We're all on your side, Ms. Foster. There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw.
Yes, sir. Okay. What do we got? After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Okay. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I know what the contradiction there is. All they said is he picked her up and took her to the car. Unless now we're going to start getting into the fact that there's no second car, and that's weird. Yes, sir. I'm still shaken up.
If he accepts this testimony as it is, we're finished.
Don't say that.
Oh well, maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. They make a really good mocha latte.
I'm surprised that you like lattes. This trial isn't over yet.
Huh, that's what I like to hear. All right, Miss Fay, your cross-examination, if you please.
The contradiction is staring you right in the face, Mia. Go on, attack.
Is it? I don't see it.
Okay. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Well... Okay, so you're saying that she wasn't pushed down? Because we've already established if she was pushed down, the coat would be muddy. So, if you're saying, like, he stabbed her in the back and then immediately picked her up, then the coat would still not be muddy, but also now it brings up the question, why the hell was her back turned to him? That's weird. But you're saying, oh yeah, you're saying she tried to run away and not get pushed down. That's right. Okay. I gotta start pressing. I can't figure it out. Are you saying that if the victim didn't fall down on the bridge? Actually, maybe she did fall?
Of course she didn't fall down on the bridge.
Okay, Edgeworth, do your thing.
If she had fallen down, this photo wouldn't make any sense. If that was the case, her coat wouldn't have been all muddy.
Yeah, I just talked about this. If you don't mind, I was asking the witness.
No need to be so rude. Well, young lady.
Of course she didn't fall down. Fuck you, Edgeworth. The man in the prison uniform grabbed her before she could. Okay.
Huh. We're one step too slow. And then what did the defendant do after that?
Then he carried her over to the car. I don't think there's a contradictory statement there. Except... Do we know the state of his prison uniform at that time? Because his uniform would have gotten bloody then. Maybe... Nah, that's shaky. We haven't established the prison uniform at all. You personally witnessed that? Yes. Did anything strange happen when he did that? Well, I don't know if you'd call it strange or not, but that's when the victim's scarf fell off. Okay. Interesting.
You mean this scarf? Her words match what we found at the scene. I don't see any problem.
I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. Well, no. He could have just pushed it off the bridge into the river where apparently bodies are never found. So, like... that's a weird statement. You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself? Yes.
Considering the size of the defendant, I don't think it would be difficult.
Yes, but let's remember they were on a narrow bridge that was ready to collapse. Is it even possible for him to have carried a dead body on a bridge like that?
Well, the fact of the matter is that he did. That kind of talk is just silly.
Wow, why did he get so emotional all of a sudden?
Miss Fay, if you think there's some other possibility, please share it with the rest of us.
Okay. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge, you're right. Why do you say that? It's already a broken down bridge hidden away in the mountains. Doing anything more to hide the corpse would be going overboard, wouldn't it? He could have thrown the corpse overboard. Yes, but that mountain is famous among hikers. A surprising number of people go up there. But it's February, right? And it was raining that day, correct? There's also a small temple and a channeling dojo there. A channeling dojo? You know those monks, they just love cold, isolated places.
I think the witness is trying to say that the corpse could have been found at any time. Besides, the witness is merely reporting what she witnessed with her own eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw. Okay. So, that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. That's not... It's not a contradiction per se, but, like... It's weird that he would have taken the body all the way back to the car, rather than just push it a little bit into the river, where it's known that bodies are never found. So, let's just fucking go for it. Yeah, okay. A killer not wanting his victim to be found, I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found.
Well, what is it?
Take another look at the map of the area and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river.
For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered.
In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. Okay. Interesting. If 10 murders were to occur at the same spot above Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water. True.
Order, order, order! I'm not sure I care for the way you put that, Miss Fay, but I must admit it does seem odd not to have thrown the body into the river.
Ooh.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth? How sad. Perhaps Miss Fay would do well to try taking a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature.
What are you talking about?
My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. Miss Fay, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all.
But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous.
Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car.
Yeah, it was. But that just means that her testimony doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean that the facts don't make sense. It just means that them being on the bridge fighting, the murder, the stabbing happening there, what she saw doesn't quite match up. It's weird.
That's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Please, witness, go on with your testimony.
I'll try.
All you have to do is tell us only what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again.
Who is he talking about? All right, I'll do my best. Okay. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms and he carried her over to the car. The killer broke into the trunk of the car and hid the body there. Why would he need to? I figured that out a long time ago. It's weird that if he stole that car, that he wouldn't have the key. Why would he need to break into the fucking trunk? That's weird. What did the man do then? Well, naturally, he got in the car and was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you have to call the police.
And so that's when you called the police.
You're sure that you saw all that with your own eyes? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Yes, I'm 100% certain. Okay. You saw him break into the car. Not that one. You saw him break into the car with this giant fucking cliff in the way. I'm sure you did, Dahlia. Take that. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Done what? Made a crucial mistake.
A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Fay?
The killer broke into the trunk of a stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes? Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car, this outcropping of rock is directly in the way. Which means Also, that you set a timer on the camera pointed at the bridge, which now means that fucking bullshit. You knew this was going on because obviously we haven't established who you actually are in court yet, but you knew that this meeting was happening. You weren't there to look at fucking wildflowers in the rain. If you were, the camera would have been pointed the other way. So you were someplace else, probably, potentially to fucking stab your sister maybe for some reason and frame this guy. I couldn't imagine why, but like at the very least you were somewhere else and you used the timer on your camera. So we're really making some headway here. That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car.
I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car.
That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine.
I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court, correct? This is the location that the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. Yep, sure does. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff.
Ugh.
Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff. But still, you claim to have been able to see the killer's car.
No!
I can't do screams as Dahlia. It's not possible.
Order in the court. What is the meaning of all this ballyhoo? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it.
But she was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Mr. Judge?
What is it?
I think I must have remembered things wrong.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that.
Miss Faye, no one on the face of the planet is perfect. Yes indeed. Quite true. You know what they say. To err is human, to forgive divine.
Okay.
I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here.
What? That's not fair!
Save the tears for later, kitten.
Mr. Armando.
Don't look back until the trial is over. Now is the time to go forward.
But that wasn't fair.
Okay, kitten. You need to relax, then you need to remember. The other kitten's testimony.
The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there.
So tell me, how did she know that? How did she know that he broke into the trunk?
That is a good point. Thank you, Diego.
Aha.
Well, Miss Foster, until you can explain how you knew that, you're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Well, witness?
Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk. You took the fucking photo, didn't you? Right? Is that where we're going with this?
Because there were marks left on the trunk lid.
I'm certain they were scratch marks from when he broke into it. So how did you get over there? Why were you over there?
What? Well, let me see that photo. It's true. These certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that his trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Faye, are you satisfied?
The judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said is there a contradiction in there somewhere? I mean, it doesn't work. Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself.
What?
You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers, But even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Correct. Finally. I finally got her.
Huh. I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Fey explained herself.
Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was... Okay. Okay, so only one of these really makes sense. She happened to be passing by bullshit. She very preemptively set the fucking camera up way on the other side of a cliff. She's the owner of the car. What would that prove? So she had to have put the corpse of her dead sister in the car. Which is fucked up. There's only one way that the witness had the chance to see those scratches.
Yes? What is it?
Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was... Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it? That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that did that. I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. Boy, did I figure that out a fat fucking minute ago. But he stole the car. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. The key was in the ignition, yes. Which means that the key would have still been in the ignition. I'm moving along with the pace of the game. I love it when this happens.
Oh, I see.
Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk.
No!
Preposterous! To even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? The corpse could have only been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. And we already know that at the time, she was taking photographs.
Well, we've already established the fucking timer. Now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself, because it has a timer. Let's take another look at this camera, and see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Why? Why, it's almost as if she had bought the camera just to take this picture. Objection! Correct.
What are you trying to say then, Miss Fey? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed?
Correct. Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly, she was not in the field.
Will the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? In answering that question, we'll also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer this question.
Okay, this is tough. Okay.
Where was Melissa Foster when the incident occurred?
Okay. I don't know. So she set the camera here. Meaning that she knew that they would meet out here. She was not here. Anywhere over here. Which means she had to be over here. But the idea that she went from behind the damn killer and got to the victim and then without getting any mud on the coat took the no. I don't know. If she was over here, then she couldn't have carried the body unless the bridge wasn't collapsed. Which makes my whole argument fall apart. So then, I guess... I don't have any way to prove this, but they are sisters. Or at least related. I guess I don't remember if it explicitly stated that they were sisters, but they have the same last name and everything. If she set up the camera here and she pointed it here, she could have posed as her sister. Right. That would also explain the missing hat. Because she knew exactly where to stand. But then what really happened? So then the body was already in the trunk? I guess we haven't established exactly when the meeting happened. We established that the death happened at like 4:30, between 4 and 5. The meeting was scheduled at 4:30, but that doesn't mean that the death... No. Okay. I'm just gonna give it a shot. Did she pose as her sister? Naturally, the witness was right here.
But that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing.
Okay.
Order! Miss Fay, what on earth?
Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. But this would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. Yes, okay, that's true. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could have only been before the defendant met the victim. Okay, wow. That sucks. Okay, so she took her dead sister and put her body in the back of the car to frame him when he ran away? Yikes. That sucks. Stabbed with a knife in the back, died from blood loss between 4 and 5, though. 4:30 p.m. at that bridge where White Scarf. Okay, but the times match up. Talk to Dahlia, tell her this time that the whole truth comes out. That could be related to the motive for her to kill her sister. Okay, hold on. I mean, we know she's a murderer. We know she has a tendency to do that. So, yeah, okay, got it.
How asinine. Of course Mr. Falls met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls.
You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The only thing I'm holding on to that's kind of weird is the times. The fact that the times line up. The time of death is at the same time that the meeting was scheduled. So that's odd. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne.
What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life.
This is like the 3rd or 4th time that we've had somebody posing as somebody else. Or like the 5th time, maybe even. Like... Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness.
What?
It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster.
Me?
Let's remember that it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne.
But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted.
Really? But since then, my client has spent 5 years in a federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore.
You were just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof?
I've got it all right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case wide open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like. We know that for sure, because the white scarf for identification bit. Mr. Falls had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification. Namely, this muddy scarf. Ah! It was Mr. Falls who requested that she wear this scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. True. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster?
No!
Faint. Again.
Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby.
It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together.
The only question is, why did she do it?
Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit.
Huh. Well, we'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both to wait in their respective lobbies.
Yes, Your Honor.
Understood. Very well, this court is in recess.
To be continued. Damn, okay, that was a pretty long first half. But I managed to get back into the swing of things pretty well, I think. Also, I really like that we're tying in shit with Dahlia again, and we're seeing more of the backstory, which is not at all what I expected. I didn't expect to get to see a young Edgeworth and a young Gumshoe as well. This is really cool. I'm enjoying this a lot, and I'm excited to see how it wraps up in the next episode. So, thank you all for watching this episode of Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations Blind. I've been Guildmaster Wiggly. If you're new to the channel, please consider giving this video a like. I forgot my fucking outro. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you want to follow my Twitch, Twitter, or join my Discord, they're in the description. And I hope to see you all in the next one when hopefully I don't fuck that up as bad.